impermanence, I see it as, as being very foundational. How can you have creation if if there is not impermanence? So every aspect of aliveness seems to me to carry with it the temporary nature. So the more I reflected on it, the less I began to think of it in terms of a completion or a finishing or an ending, but as being foundational to beginning, as being at the essence of life as I experience life. I tend to embrace impermanence as a recognition of the reality of aliveness.
It's probably the only permanent thing that is around us. Everything's temporary. Nothing lasts forever. Not as human beings, not what's happening now. It's all just whatever we decide to perceive at this moment.
I think impermanence is a great gift. My wife and I are in the process of letting go of our daughter. It's so tempting just to hold on to what we think has been permanent in our family, and it isn't. And what we're finding is that the more we can let go of her, pay attention to the loss of what we thought was permanent, is a great gift of a new life that seems to be opening up.
Impermanence means change. Change just happens. Over time, everything changes. Without change, I think I wouldn't be doing very well. I don't think anything would have happened without change, and change just happens.
Impermanence, to me, is that lack of open-endedness, the fact that you know that within a defined period of time, and that can be weeks, months, or even years, life is going to come to an end. No matter how you think about it or how you try to put it, it's a huge shock for a person to learn that their life, it's now impermanence, that they no longer have that open-ended lifespan to think about and deal with. Life is impermanent. There's, we all, every single person will face that. Everything is impermanent, including the universe, although over a huge time span.
It's the condition of letting go and being in the habit of letting go, being detached. It's the state of being able to enjoy what is in its passing away without trying to cling to it. A beggar on the side of the road, he has nothing. He puts out his hand and saying, "Give me a dime," and the hand is open to what may be given by life. And somebody passing by drops a quarter in his hand, and immediately the hand closes to possess it, and it becomes a fist. And you could then use the fist to protect what you have possessed. But of course, you can't even use it very well because you are so intent on clinging to it and protecting it. Poverty of spirit now is opening the hand again, having the courage and taking the risk of remaining open, running the risk that the quarter may be taken away from you, but also being in a position where you can receive more. And it's in that position of receptivity and of openness, which is the experience of fullness of reality and the goodness of reality begins to flow into one, and that's true happiness.
probably the first time my heart broke. First relationship ending. I don't even know that it was so much that I thought it would last forever, but that you don't have to think about it ending till it ends.
You can't really document the inner self of a person. I mean, you can't really photograph me at almost 60 as a 7-year-old, and yet I still am that 7-year-old somewhere inside myself.
The only thing that's really permanent is probably change. The society's having a hard time keeping up with the change, that just because you have the technology doesn't mean that you have the psychology to deal with it. Our construct of reality is based on trying to say things are fixed, but on the other hand, they're really not.
आत्मा की शांति परमानेंट वस्तु है इस लोक के लिए और परलोक के लिए अपने आप को पहचानना.
What is permanent in life is the peace that comes from your soul. In other words, knowing who you are, that brings you the peace.
I guess the only thing I think is permanent is the fact that we are a constant state of impermanence. Maybe the energy that keeps us going is permanent.
There's something about the life force that wants to keep going. Part of it is consciousness. Part of it is loving that state of consciousness. The larger part of it is that joy and vitality that people experience as being alive.
Do I think there's anything permanent in the world? Maybe death. That would be permanently over when I die.
We need to act as if things and people and ideas are permanent, they are true, or they are valuable. You couldn't marry someone unless you thought, he was there to stay. You wouldn't love people if you were always thinking about the fact that they would die or stop loving you. That you have to imagine a person as somehow joined to and part of and constituted by the world that they live in.
The most permanent thing in life is our relationships with other people, because those will make a lasting impression on them, and that's what's important. Nothing is permanent. Things can last for a very long time, but I don't really know what forever is. Things change for the better and things change for the worse. If things are going well in our lives, we want to hold on to that. When things aren't good, what you can really hold on to is that that's not permanent either. Whether it's in your own life or the state of the world, you hope things are always going to get better.
You're a spirit being that you came here to learn and to grow. And the spirit doesn't die when you die. The spirit lives on in some form. So that's not impermanent. That essence part of me, that's not something that I feel is fleeting.
impermanence might contribute towards greater peace in the world. But all these conflicts that look so real and so permanent can be muted by just changing the way we look at it.
Being aware of the fact that things change, the fact that nothing is permanent, the fact that what we have is what we have right now and it's changing, is a sort of a basic requirement for being able to make any kind of lasting peace in any sense of the word, whether you're talking about peace with yourself, peace with other people, peace in the world.
So I have this sense of art and design that I appreciate, that's vibrant, you know, it's vital, it's urgent. Man, I've smashed San Francisco with anti-war messages. I hope that the work that we do, it succeeds in shifting public opinion, shifting the social consciousness to be more aware. As far as impermanence, I'm hoping that this right war mentality is temporary.
Look at peace differently and realizing that peace is not this lofty goal that's hard to get to. Rather, peace is in simple every day. When you get up in the morning, are you at peace with yourself? Are you satisfied with who you are as a person, as a child, a parent, a role model, a member of society? I think when you start off small like that, that peace becomes who you are. Then I think we will get to peace on a bigger level.
Peace begins right here, and how I treat everyone and everything around me. Because all we have is right now. This breath that I'm taking right now, that's all I have. Really, that's all any of us has, is just a breath. That's what we absolutely need in order to live. Don't need food and water. Those come second. It's take the breath in, let the breath out. You know, you can't give up hope. I learned that from my dog, by the way. She never gave up hope, no matter what. I mean, talk about living in the present. Animals have no concept of past or future, and they're good teachers in that way.
Well, I don't think the last day is as important as all the days beforehand, right? I mean, it's definitely your day-to-day that matters, and your moment-to-moment, and what you put out. So your last day, your last moment that you get to face your life, I think it's just going to be really quick and not very important.
If this was the last day, I'm very grateful I lived as long as I have and have the 4 children I have, and I got to see my children grow up. I think the time is coming, you know, you have to go, and I honestly feel good about it.
I'm not sure I'd believe it. In some ways, I think I'd be relieved. To make it the last time is not difficult for me.
Interacting with my father, who's 88, he's not attached to anything. I'm able to experience him much more like I experienced my son when he was first born.
A very intense moment for me in that was the death of my teacher, John Mayne. There was both extreme sadness and grief, and also a sense of being beautifully and powerfully drawn into the spirit of joy and of love. When I was with him, I felt this very powerful presence, the intensity of his being as he prepared for this moment of transition, this moment of letting go of his physical form.
our existence with these other beings who are sharing space is finite. This whole life is a play and it's a movie. It doesn't just mean that I'm the, that it's my movie and that, it's for me. It's for all of us.
Everybody has an impact. There's plenty of opportunity to make more of an impact down the road. It's incumbent on almost everybody to contribute something in the world.
My purpose in life is to spread love and joy. To smile a lot, because that spreads a lot of positive energy around. And I think we learn a lot from, like dolphins or all these playful animals in the world, or mammals. The beautiful thing about a day is if you can get someone to smile, doesn't that touch your heart?
Whatever your age is, you should always think about this and realize how lucky you are. Appreciate what you have and be thankful. Set a good example for everybody. Live like every day as though you were to die tomorrow. You just try to live life till your fullest, and you do your best at that.
It makes me appreciate what I have more if I know that things could change at any moment in time. I get to sleep in a nice warm bed at night, and it's storming outside. These thoughts come to me when it's raining, and I think to myself, how fortunate I am to be able to have a roof over my head, food in my belly, in a peaceful home, that maybe that could change at any point in time. By appreciating that, I think it helps to create kind of a gentleness in your heart, because I think gratitude is really an important part in our lives.
Presence. What do I do with it? We come to life involuntarily. We did not have a choice. And we leave involuntarily. We don't have a choice.
Things that you look at and then they change immediately and then they're gone. And the world is full of things like that. Bugs who live for a day, cloud formations that disappear in a matter of minutes. A wonderful world of evolving beauty that is wrapped around that concept. Thinking about the term impermanence over the last couple of days has just sort of reinforced my appreciation for the ever-changing nature of our world. How important it is to appreciate the people in your life and the world you live in.
This day is precious, this life is precious, and have a greater commitment to coming up with some resolution now rather than thinking later is going to be here.
I'm in traffic. I'm trying to get somewhere. So I'm definitely in my permanent old school attention frame of mind. And then there's a bumper sticker there, one of the best I've ever seen. It says, "Live like you're dying." Live like you're dying, like you are passing, like you are impermanent, and actually wakes you up to everything you need right now. I mean, more than you can possibly have imagined before gets born into that moment. It's like this impulse, this little catalyst for awareness that I just think would wake the dead, would wake anyone up.
The ability to live fully in each and every moment. And talk about impermanence, it's a paradox that each moment is full, but then it's gone, you're in the next moment.
This reality of impermanence, the awareness of impermanence, winds up being almost like a torch that comes in and burns off the chaff, burns off the debris, and leaves only that which is truly of value.
It's an inside job with others.
Embrace impermanence.
Listen with an open heart.
Accept others' ideas.
Think more broadly. Be a part of things that are bigger.
It becomes much more difficult to think that somebody's an other.
Collectively, we can make it a more peaceful world.
Humility and humbleness. How we approach each day.
Attachments of your mind.
It's not about taking, it's about giving it back.
Evolving. Connection. Openness.
Music.
To give.
Present.
Set a good example for everybody.
Keep on loving.
It's the same consciousness, the same energy, the same love.
The love is what we need. Pass it on.